triple lock is the only thing that meant that legally a government that clearly supported the US in its invasion of Iraq, facilitated the invasion of Iraq in terms of the use of Shannon Airport, it could not send ordinary Irish soldiers to go and fight and die in a war for oil and profit in the Middle East for the US. The attendance of your predecessor, Leo Varadkar, at the Munich Security Conference was significant. I think it was part of a drive that has been ongoing under Leo Varadkar and under Micheál Martin to erode whatever is left of neutrality and to display to the world that we're serious about this stuff. Don't worry, we're going to grow out of the immature neutrality. My basic question is whether you intend to continue in the same vein. Leo Varadkar and Micheál Martin crossed a number of lines that were not previously crossed, but the one that Leo Varadkar very much had and Micheál Martin in their sight is the question of the triple lock. The triple lock is the only thing that meant that legally a government that clearly supported the US in its invasion of Iraq, facilitated the invasion of Iraq in terms of the use of Shannon Airport, it could not send ordinary Irish soldiers to go and fight and die in a war for oil and profit in the Middle East for the US. There was a recent opinion poll which, very interestingly, people's attitudes to an EU army. And the higher income group you're from, the more in favour of an EU army you are. The lower income group you are, the less in favour of an EU army. Why? Quite obviously, because it's those in lower income groups who will disproportionately be involved in going to fight in these wars. So are you still intending to proceed with this attempt to dismantle the triple lock, which protects some part of what is left of our neutrality?
To be very clear, Ireland remains and the Irish government remains fully committed to our policy of neutrality. And I think it is entirely possible and plausible and credible and in fact necessary as a neutral member state to not excuse ourselves from discussions around defence and security. I think that's quite important. We have an obligation. The first obligation of a government is to the security of its state and its people and their safety. And I think that's something we shouldn't shirk from. That's not the same as being militarily aligned. There's no question of Ireland's eroding or leaving its position of military neutrality. That's not the position of government. I don't believe it's the position of this House, and I don't believe it's the position of the majority of people in this country. But I do think it's important that as a country we don't shy away from, within that confines, having a discussion about defence and security. And I commend the Taoiseach for his leadership in relation to this. I do think the triple lock, I do support the direction of travel outlined by the Taoiseach, because I don't think it's appropriate that a country like Russia can effectively have a veto on where we send peacekeeping troops. And at the moment it's either trust the Irish Parliament, the Irish Oireachtas, or allow Putin decide where we can send our peacekeeping troops. We have a difference of view on this, but that's clearly my view, and the one that government will bring forward through legislation. But it is important that it's important that we do tease all of these matters through in this House, and that's certainly our intention.